Whoa.
Ooh, watch out for the bear, Graham.
A large bear seems to be very interested in the honey inside the old tree. Not being much of a honey eater, Cedric shows little interest in the beehive.
You might want to get to a higher branch, Cedric, just saying.
Not being much of a... Cedric seems to be quietly contemplating their current situation, and so is not inclined to indulge in conversation right now.
I wouldn't be doing that. I would be just, trying to get to a safe distance.
The swift river turns sharply to the south here.
That stick, though.
Graham notices a large stick lying on the ground near the old tree. A swarm of bees buzz around a hole in a rotted old tree. A swarm of bees... A large bear seems to be very interested in the honey inside the old tree.
And there's honey in the tree, okay. Can I pat the bear?
Graham should be very careful around a big old bear. Graham should be very careful around a big old bear.
Everyone should be, just saying.
The bear is too intent on the honey to listen to Graham.
Can I sneak up behind you and grab the stick? I'll take that as a no. Also, that bear just knocked us to hell out.
Tisk, tisk. Graham should know better than to feed the bears.
Are you an RNG thing? Doesn't look like it. I assume I can't go past him to the west. An anthill, we'll check that out in a sec. No, this bear is here and he gives 0 fucks. Right, so there's a stick there, but we cannot get to it. Interesting. A stick, a honey tree, and a bear.
A colony of large ants parade up and down a huge anthill built amid some scrubby bushes. A colony of large ants parade up and down a... The ants don't seem to take kindly to uninvited trespassing.
Can I talk to the ants?
The ants are too busy to engage in conversation with Graham.
I can, but they don't want to talk to me. Okay. Interesting.
A gypsy wagon can be seen in the distance to the north.
There's nothing but the wagon or the anthill on this screen to interact with. That's kind of crazy.
Ooh, there's nothing but a hot, dry desert for the west. Most people avoid it because there are bandits out there. Ooh, if you insist on going, I'll wait for you here.
A desert to the west. Bandits in the desert. I remember that. This bear though. I do not know what to do about this bear. Alright, before I go west into the desert, can I get myself killed at this anthill?
Ooh, is that a new dance, Graham? The Boogaloo?
No comment, Cedric. Before I go west into the desert, I'd also like to go east and just confirm...
Ooh, is that a new dance, Graham? The Boogaloo?
And confirm the map's layout. What have we here? Apart from a whole bunch of points that I can't look at.
In the distance to the north, Graham can see a lovely willow tree surrounded by a small pond.
A willow tree.
Utilizing fallen logs, a gnome has built a little forest home. An old grandfather gnome sits contentedly on an old stump and smokes a large pipe while watching his grandson at play.
Smoking will kill you.
Sitting on a stool in front of his house, a young gnome happily plays with an exquisite marionette. The entrance to the small house is through a crudely constructed door.
Well, what you standing around here for?
Go on about your own business.
Harsh. I'm a guest in your country.
The young gnome is more interested in his marionette than in Graham. Graham attempts to speak to the young gnome, but the boy seems to be very shy and doesn't answer.
Excuse me, sir. Oh, I'm terribly sorry to bother you. I was just noticing your son's marionette. It's very interesting. Where did you get it?
It's grandson, not son, and I made it for him. Why do you care?
I just wanted to comment on its artistry. It's very well done. I don't suppose it could be bought.
Oh.
If it could, the price would be very steep. I reckon you couldn't afford it. Now, leave me and my grandson be.
Yeah, this guy's not having it. We want to steal this kid's toy, very clearly.
I ain't in the mood to gab right now. Go find someone else to talk to. I ain't in the mood to gab.
Not in the mood to gab.
I don't like strangers trespassing in my house. I don't.
That's something we've got in common.
Cedric is too busy looking around, having other things on his mind. Impatiently, Cedric watches Graham from the gnome's roof.
Okay, so if I go right here, that should lead me to a crossroads where we saw a bird. And I also saw someone crying there earlier.
Graham feels the eyes of many creatures upon him as he follows a meandering path through the thick wood. Graham feels the eye. Graham, what a wonderful bluebird. It could almost make Graham happy again if it wasn't for his family. The bluebird is too busy taking a bath to answer Graham. Graham feels the eyes of many creatures upon him. Graham.
Can I get that dude to come back? Shit. I hope I've not missed my opportunity. So that should take me back to the path with the snake. Alright, there was someone here crying, but I did not speak to him. And I hope I've actually not screwed something up. Hopefully he comes back. Jeez, okay. A bluebird here, I don't think there's much we can do with that.
Graham feels the...
And I don't think there's anything else to see on this screen. Okay, let's go north. Ooh. Okay, so first things first, if I go right, does that take me back to Crispin's place? Yes, it does. Spoopy forest.
Beyond the warning sign, the gnarled trees seem to close in, entangling and confusing all who dare enter here. The sign seems self-explanatory enough. Enter at your own risk.
It does.
Look at this sign, Graham. You'd better heed it. There's an old witch who lives in that forest.
An old witch who lives in that forest.
Look at this sign. Back to the east is Crispin's house.
Having other things on his mind,
That log looks sus.
an old hollow log lies in a small clearing before the gloomy forest. The old log doesn't look interesting enough to bother with.
No, it looks like it's not part of the background.
The old log...
There's something there, surely.
An old hollow log. The old log... The wide dirt path ends at a crude warning sign placed before an ominous-looking forest. Beyond the sign, the path narrows to nothing more than a root and snarled trail. Beyond the warning sign, beyond the wide dirt, the wide...
Okay, we're not getting anything here. Let me go west first. Looks like this map might be primarily 3x4, but I know there's a bunch of other stuff here. What the hell is this? The willow tree. It's not like any willow tree I've seen.
Impatiently, Cedric waits for Graham.
Oh, what a sad song she plays. Let's try to cheer her up, Graham.
How will I find this heart of mine, taken from me for some time? Here I stand near my pool of tears. Here I'll stay throughout the years.
I did not adjust Yuri on that. That just went very loud all of a sudden while she sang that song. Her heart has been taken. I'm guessing that's in a literal sense.
Miss Willow?
Yes?
You can talk?
Why, of course I can. What did you expect?
Well, I've never seen a talking tree before. What's wrong?
Everything's wrong, can't you tell? I'm not really a tree. I'm really a princess. You see, my fiancé and I were walking through this wood when a nasty old witch came along and was instantly charmed by my handsome prince. When he naturally refused her advances, she jealously banished him to a faraway land and turned me into a tree. Then she stole my heart.
Stole your heart?
Yes, she turned my heart to gold and took it away with her. The only way I can become human again is to have my heart brought back. Now, all I have to cheer me up is my harp. It's quite magical, you know. It plays the sweetest music you've ever heard. Now please, leave me alone in my sorrow.
We need that harp very clearly. She and her lover went north into that wood. Beyond that sign it says, "Enter at your own risk." Ambushed by the witch. I'm curious to know if we've met the prince. Whether it was someone that we've met in one of the previous games, perhaps.
To the north, a graceful weeping willow tree grows beside a small pond created from her tears. In her branch-like arms she clutches a beautiful harp as a child would a cherished toy. To the north, Graham can see the gnarly edge of a deep, dark forest. To the north...
Okay, there's some weird shit going on at the moment.
To the north, Graham can see the... A lovely little pond surrounds the base of a beautiful weeping willow.
There's a lot of weird shit going on at the moment. Okay, I had to leave that screen and come back because it's like there was a 5-second lag window there. I'd move the cursor around, click something, and nothing would happen, and then the action would execute like 5 seconds later. It was super weird, and it might actually be happening again. It is happening again. What is wrong with this screen?
A lovely little pond surrounds the base of a beautiful weeping willow tree.
I'm guessing it's related to her animations.
What's wrong, Graham?
That's salt water. Ugh.
Yeah, it's her tears, bro. Once again, I might have to change the Scum VM version. If I do, I will just quickly replay and come back here. It's only this screen so far that's playing up, and I've got a feeling it has to do with that animation and that song, perhaps.
Ooh, keep your eye on the gypsies, Graham. I don't trust them.
Everything else has been behaving correctly. Although, no, we've got some lag now. Back in a sec. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Once again, this playthrough might be compromised.
A graceful weeping willow.
Leave my harp alone. It's mine. Please, don't bother me anymore. Let me weep in peace.
Okay, let's go check out the gypsy. Fortune seller.
Impatiently, Cedric waits for Graham. Cedric seems to be thinking big thoughts. A large ox, tied to the gypsy's wagon, peacefully munches on grass.
Can I pat the ox?
Graham finds the huge beast completely uninteresting. The ox's mouth is too full of grass to even attempt a conversation with Graham.
We ate the white snake, we can talk to the animals, but the only one we've been able to talk to so far wants to kill us.
It will cost you 1 gold coin to see Madamushka. The cost is 1 gold coin.
1 gold coin to get in there.
A gypsy wagon is encamped here at the edge of the woods. On the side of the wagon, the words "Fortune Teller" have been painted. A steaming pot of stew bubbles over a small campfire near the gypsy wagon. Obviously, the man wouldn't tolerate Graham taking his supper. Within the gypsy encampment, Graham notices a tall, burly man who keeps a suspicious eye on him and Cedric. The burly man keeps a watchful eye on Graham and Cedric. The sullen man doesn't appear to be the conversational sort.
He just wants his money.
The cost is 1 gold coin.
The sullen man doesn't appear. Cedric sees.
I assume the desert is to the west. I really want to see if that dude comes back, though. We have a bear down here. We had a crying dude in the center of the map. Also, that's Stick. Are you interested in the fish, sir? Or ma'am? You are. Once again, that sound effect played. Very briefly.
I am Queen Beatrice, kind sir. I wish to thank you ever so much for saving our hive from the claws of that horrible bear. In return, I offer you a luscious honeycomb from our hive. Please feel free to retrieve one. I promise my bees won't harm you. It may come in handy on your travels.
Firstly, that accent. Secondly, I don't trust you. You're only the second animal we've been able to speak to so far, and the other one wants to murder us.
Graham bends down and picks up the large stick from the ground.
You have a stick. Can I grab the honey? I can.
Graham reaches a hand into the beehive and retrieves a very sticky chunk of honeycomb. Wrapping it in a protective piece of cloth, he then pockets it.
Can I ask where you got the protective piece of cloth from, Graham? Once again, I'm asking the important questions here.
A swarm of bees buzz around a hole in a rotted old tree.
Right, we have some stuff.
Honey drips at the edges of the honeycomb chunk. It appears to be an average stick of wood.
We have a stick and we have some honey.
It would be wise if Graham didn't bother the bees. These aren't very talkative bees.
Alright, well that's all well and good, but that's not why I'm here. Oh, what the hell?
A bully of a dog terrorizes the poor ants as he playfully digs at their large anthill.
Let them fight, Doc Giff.
A mangy old dog digs playfully at the huge anthill, while the poor ants scurry about frantically.
Can I pat the dog? Pay no attention to the fact that I'm saving before I do this.
The dog doesn't seem to be a friendly sort at all. The dog is more interested in the anthill than in Graham.
If I throw the stick, will that make you happy? It will. Ants?
Allow me to introduce myself.
Oh my
I'm
god.
King Anthony the Great. May I ask who you are?
Why, certainly. I'm King Graham of Daventry, and this is my friend Cedric. We're seeking a way to cross the great mountains to the ocean on the other side.
We are?
That is a very perilous undertaking. I wish you would reconsider. But if you shall not, in return for rescuing our home from that flea-bitten cur, I wish to offer you our help, if perchance you may ever need it.
Thank you very much, King Antony. Cedric and I appreciate your kind offer. We look forward to meeting you again.
King Antony? Really? We're crossing the mountains? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't realize there was an ocean on the other side, though. That is entirely new information to us. We can't pat any of the dogs. What kind of game is this? Also, we just spoke to a queen bee and a king ant here. Are they going to hook up? I hope not.
The ants are too busy to engage in conversation with Graham.
We didn't get anything out of that, but they're going to help us later, perhaps. Interesting. Has this guy respawned? He has not.
Graham feels the eyes of...
I'm concerned about that. Okay, so from this juncture, I've really got two ways to go. First is north here, and the second is west into the desert. And just because I've got some really bad memories of that, I think I'll head to the desert first.
It will cost you 1 gold coin.
I don't have a gold coin, sir, so I will not bother you.
Ooh, there's nothing but a hot, dry desert further west. Most people avoid it because there are bandits out there. Ooh, if you insist on going, I'll wait for you here.
A rocky cliff ending in a string of huge boulders blocks further travel to the north. Beyond the large boulders, Graham can see the dry brushland extending to the north for many miles. The scraggly bushes of the dry brushland taper off to a hot, sandy desert as far as the eye can see to the west. To the east, Graham can see the sparse edge of Serenia's woods. The cliff is much too steep. Graham could never climb it. The cliff...
Okay, let's start mapping this out.
Rocky cliffs rise high above Graham's head. Looking to the south, the desert seems to extend forever. Looking to the south, the desert seems to extend forever. Looking to the south, the desert seems to extend forever.
I'm just doing that in case we get something different.
Rocky cliffs rise high above Graham's head. The cliff is much too steep. Graham could never climb it.
So I distinctly recall what's here because I saw it in my testing.
Rocky cliffs rise high above... Look...
Have I counted that correctly? I need to go back and check.
The hot sun and choking sands are taking their toll on Graham. He must drink, and soon. Rocky, looking to the south, the desert seems to extend forever. Rocky cliffs, looking to the south, the desert seems to...
Looking to the south, nothing.
A small pool of water has formed in the space between the two rocks. The two large rocks at the cliff base attract Graham's attention. Sheer rock cliffs, rising straight up from the desert floor, form an unreachable, flat plateau at the top. Graham contemplates an attempt to climb the rocky cliff, but wisely chooses not to.
We need to take a drink before we die.
Ah, life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Graham can now feel strength and renewal flowing through him. From across the desert sands, Graham can hear the sound of approaching hoofbeats.
That's not a good sign. I'm going to make a save here in a separate slot. I want to go back first, just to confirm that it was definitely 6 screens in between the start points and here. Oh god. Let's just get out of here before something bad happens.
A spy! Get him!
Never trust a bad guy, Graham.
Am I in trouble?
A spy! Get him!
Never trust.
I don't know if I can get off this screen. Maybe I can hide behind one of these rocks?
Open sesame!
So cliche. Okay, well that seems very important, but that's not why I'm here right now. All I want to see is it 6 screens here? So I'm going to need to map this out. Okay, second screen. Third screen. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. And if I count it correctly, the cliff should taper off here. Yes, good, okay. My map so far is correct. Just gonna hide behind here and we'll watch that cutscene again because why not?
Open sesame!
The bandit raps 3 times with the staff. The door disappears, he goes inside, comes back out, doesn't appear to be carrying anything. Maybe they're just checking on whatever's inside there. Okay, so at this point I think I need to head south, but let me just map out the extents first. Also, I'm running out of room on my page, as always. How far across can I go before I die? Right, so that's 4 screens.
The hot sun and choking sands are taking their toll on Graham. He must drink, and soon. Too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst in the hot desert sun. If only he could have found an oasis. Dying for a drink, Graham?
Indeed. We die on the 7th screen. Alright, just mapping that out while we're listening to that music. Let's try going south.
The scorching sun burns down on the dry desert as Graham struggles through the hot sand. He looks around, but all he can see is more desert.
I think that's all we're going to get from memory of this area, so... yeah, let's just wander around. I'm sure we'll find something very shortly.
The hot sun and choking sands are taking their toll on Graham. He must drink, and soon.
Okay, we'll die on the next screen if there is no water.
Too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst in the hot desert sun. If only he could have found an oasis. Dying for a drink, Graham?
The bandits came from the west, so there must be something here. Just gonna map it out until we find it. I think I might have miscounted here. Going to need to go back and check, I think. Gonna die here, I think.
Too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst.
Okay, so 1 across didn't work. Well, let's try 2 across. There we go. So it's 2 across and then 3 down.
All around him, Graham sees nothing but more desert. How much farther can he go on? Thankfully, though, a nearby pool of water can relieve Graham's overwhelming thirst. All around him, Graham sees a small oasis. Its tantalizing water, so sparkling in the desert sun. Graham's hot, thirsty body is irresistibly drawn to it. Ah, life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Graham can now feel strength and renewal flowing through him.
Okay. So from here I could actually go into the first 2 columns again and keep going south. I don't think that's the answer just from memory. I think we've got to go west. Let me just try going south though. So if I go right now, that leads to the place where I died just a moment ago. I think. Assuming this is all correct. I don't know if it is or not. Yeah, there's a lot of places we can explore here. I can see that very clearly. This isn't even thinking about what's over to the east.
Too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst in the hot deserts.
Okay, you did let me out of that. Thank you, game. Let me just try going west now. I assume we can go 7 to the west. Which is going to take me even further off my page. Come on, cursor.
The hot
5th screen warning. And 7 is where I die. Where would the next oasis be then? I'm not thinking it's to the north, I'm thinking it's to the south somewhere. So let's try going east. So let's try going west and south. We'll go down like a staircase pattern.
The scorching sun burns down on the dry desert as Graham struggles through the hot sand. He looks around, but all he can see is more desert.
I really wish it would give me a different statement if we're approaching something. Maybe I'll check the oasis in just a moment. Okay, so that didn't help. Let me try going south, and then we'll just go west. Like if I look here, for example.
The scorching sun burns down on the dry desert as Graham struggles through the hot sand.
We get nothing different there. We don't get, ooh, there's a glimpse of something to the north. So I've been on the road directly above me. Let's go west. Let's just keep walking west until we die. get the warning. What about the second row down here? They came from the west, and given the position of that oasis, I'm thinking that it's going to be down here and not further to the north. I've been on this screen. I've been on the next screen. And now I've not been further west here. Nothing here either. Oh boy. So at this stage I'm thinking let's try one road to the north and then go west. I think most of the south is pretty covered apart from one column. Not here. The thing is, it's only 2 squares up to the cliff. I can't imagine it will be on this row here, on the second row. First row. Second row, and then I can walk 5 squares to the left. If I go north now, I'm going to hit the cliff. I get that, yeah, I would have to go to the oasis just to survive to make it this far, but at the same time, it's very close nearby, so maybe this camp is to the south. Or maybe it's even over to the east. I don't know about this. I thought the camp was much easier to find than this. I think I have made a slight mistake on the map, but I don't think it's going to matter. What about the first column here? I've been here for sure. What about this place? That music though. What have we here?
A large clay jar full of water stands by the campfire.
Okay, that's important. We need that. Why would you have a fire going in the desert?
The campfire, all but forgotten, has been reduced to a pile of glowing embers. The bandits' horses rest in the desert sun, while their unsavory owners revel within the large tent. There doesn't seem to be any activity within the smaller tent. Overhearing loud music and drunken laughter from within the larger tent, Graham guesses the bandits must be celebrating their latest plunder. With disgust, Graham looks at a drunken bandit lying face down in the desert sand, completely passed out.
Can we search him? Also, can we drink the water? That's important.
Ah, life-giving water.
We've heard that. The oasis is only 4 screens away, but we're going to die before we get back there.
Phew! Holding his nose against the drunken bandit's pungent odor, Graham quickly searches him, but doesn't find anything of importance.
Damn it. Let's check out the smaller tents. The staff. Let's check out the larger tents.
An intruder!
That wasn't a very smart move, Graham.
Indeed it wasn't, but I wanted to see what would happen. Okay, so we can't get inside there.
A beautiful harem girl belly dances for the merrymaking bandits within the larger tent. Overhearing loud music and drunken laughter from within the larger tent, Graham guesses the bandits must be celebrating their latest plunder.
I was hoping we'd be able to look at that bandit, but whatever.
Overhearing a beautiful harem, a lone camel waits near the large tent while its owner celebrates inside.
Can we pat the camel?
The bandits would notice if the camel was disturbed.
Can we pat the horses?
Disturbing the horses would be very unwise at this time.
Fine.
Assorted odds and ends clutter the inside of this small tent, while upon a lovely carpet sleeps another of the despicable renegades. Assorted odds and ends, snoring loudly upon a beautiful carpet lies a sleeping bandit. A jeweled staff leaning against the back of the tent catches Graham's interest. Taking care to be very quiet, Graham reaches out and takes the staff into his possession. The jeweled staff is obviously the work of an expert craftsman. Graham should avoid the bandit at all costs.
Thanks again for all your help.
Who are you? A spy?
That wasn't a very smart move for Graham.
Thanks again for all your help. Really? Oh, jeez.
Taking care to be very...
Who are you? A spy?
Okay, I was not expecting that. Also, I had to cut out a little bit there because I accidentally moved the Scum VM window. Do I just have to walk around you, perhaps?
Taking care... Life...
I'll probably cut this part out as well, but what I want to do is I want to have a look around this desert. I want to see if there's any more oases around. Is oases the plural of oasis? I'm not sure, but I basically want to have a look around it and see if there's anything else hiding in this desert. I'll BRB, I'll fix up my map, and I'll show you the results in just a sec. Okay, I've spent entirely too long on this, but let me show you what I've done. This is a very basic map of the desert. It's a lot better than what I had over here, which is basically unreadable. I spent the last half an hour or so just wandering around here looking for places where I can go. And from what I can tell, it looks like there is nothing south of this line. If I try going south, there's nothing there. You can see I've marked a bunch of places here on the map. The ones marked O represents oases. If that is indeed a plural, I don't know. I found 2 more in my search on the right hand side. I also found a well on, I'll call it the southern border of this place. If I try going south from here, it's basically just endless desert. We just run into a looping screen of desert. It doesn't matter which way I go. The bandits camp is at the center section there, but you can consider it to be on the bottom left, I guess. The other thing I found in my search was this shoe. Oh, hell. Alright, I might actually need to bring my microphone back for this. What have we here?
Uh-oh. A picked clean and sun-bleached skeleton lies in the sand of the hot, dry desert. What happened? Who can say? But it makes Graham uneasy nevertheless.
Is that a shoe?
An old shoe lies forgotten near the poor skeleton.
Oh, is that essential?
Uneasily, Graham reaches down and removes the old shoe from the desert sand.
Oh my word. I need to explore every square, clearly. I thought I was almost done here. I'm currently going through mapping out the place, drawing a new map, but I've just found a random shoe. That is deeply concerning. Oh boy, if I go north here and then go west, we should hit the temple.
The hot sun and...
Yeah, it's fine. I know I'm within range of an Oasis game. Yeah, that is a thing that happened. So, I don't know if I would have found that without mapping out the entire desert, to be quite blunt. Also, on the right hand side there, you can see a bunch of X's. That's because if I try entering those screens, I die instantly.
Too bad. Even the sting of such a small creature can prove deadly. The scraggly bushes of the dry brushland taper off to a hot, sandy desert as far as the eye can see to the west. To the east, Graham can see the sparse edge of Serenia's woods.
Well, there you are. I was just starting to get concerned.
Don't worry about me, Cedric. I'm used to this kind of thing.
Ooh, there's nothing but...
Too bad. Even the sting of such a small creature can prove deadly.
And from what I can tell, you can see my lovely drawing on the right hand side there. That is if I try to access the area below Serenia, if that makes any sense. If you consider that the honey tree is on the bottom left of the map, then if I try going below it, that is instant death. Anyway, I've spent entirely too long doing this instead of actually playing the damn game. Let's go see what's inside this temple. Alright, so what have we here?
The facade of a magnificent temple has been carved into the rocky cliffs by an unknown ancient civilization.
Aliens. Very clearly.
Carved into the rocky cliffs, an ancient temple towers above Graham as he surveys its ornate columns and friezes. Stone statues of Pegasus seem to guard the old crumbling temple. Stone statues of Pegasus looming majestically before him, the massive temple door beckons tantalizingly to Graham.
Apologies, clicked through that accidentally.
Graham examines the statue carefully, but doesn't see anything of importance.
Can we open the door?
Open sesame!
The temple door won't open. Perhaps there's something missing.
Like a staff.
Open sesame!
Okay, let's make a save.
The jeweled staff is obviously the work of an expert craftsman.
Let's see if we can knock on the door with the staff.
Open sesame! Oh no! The staff broke.
That's bad. Expert craftsman indeed, it broke immediately. A place of riches, but I think if we try accessing the riches, we're going to get stuck in here.
Don't waste time. The door may close any time now. Near the temple door sits an old, tarnished brass bottle. A single gold coin, separated from the rest of the treasure, lies on the floor near the door. Treasure? Treasure piled everywhere. The sparkling brilliance of it overwhelms Graham as he peers around the temple's dim interior.
We are greedy.
Oh my, look at all this treasure. Cheer up, Graham. At least you can practice your game of tiddlywinks.
Indeed. We can get trapped in here. So there's a gold coin and there's also a lamp. I think we know what we need the gold coin for. Not sure about the lamp.
Open sesame! Oh no! The staff broke.
Hopefully the bandits have got a spare staff. But damn, they've collected a lot of stuff over the eons.
Quickly, Graham grabs the old brass bottle. Bending down, Graham hurriedly picks up the gold coin from the temple floor.
The single gold coin.
Phew, that was close.
Looming majestic.
Open sesame!
The temple door won't open. Perhaps there's something missing. The staff lies in several broken pieces on the temple steps. The staff is broken and is of no use anymore.
Okay, fine. A gold coin.
It is a shiny gold coin.
And a gold lamp.
This is an old, tarnished brass bottle.
Or I said it was a lamp, but it's really more of a bottle.
It has no effect on the massive door.
I'm trying to use it on myself.
Ah, freedom at last! Now you spend the next 500 years in a bottle.
Graham should know better than to keep things bottled up inside.
I could think of worse fates, honestly. Okay, so we could maybe use that to kill someone. Imprison someone for 500 years. Massive difference.
Ah.
So out of this very long trip, which mostly has been edited out, I found a shoe, a lamp or a gold bottle, which does contain your stereotypical genie, and I've also found a gold coin. Let's see if we can make use of the gold coin first.